Okay, here we're going to load the TARPS app. It's just a HTML that you can download from the link in the video. Any browser will work. You like Chrome. So as you can see, we have the app here ready to go, ready to load. You can either pick a single image that the TARPS has taken, or what I like to do is you can load an entire folder, since you'll be just going through a lot of pictures that the TARPS has taken. We'll go ahead and do that. So if you go to your Save Games folder, DCS F14 TARPS, here's all the different missions that have been flown. It'll dump each mission into a new folder. So go ahead and select the latest one, upload, confirm that you trust the folder that's being uploaded. Go ahead and upload. A lot of times the first image in the folder is blank. Don't know why, but it just is. So down here, you can scroll through all the images, so you can see that there's 7 images taken, and here's the file name of the image that is being displayed in the center here. So go next. Here's the first image. You can see someone's already been doing some work in this area. And when you got an image loaded up, a few things to point out. So you have the north up arrow here, and the way that's calculated actually is via the image name. So if you notice, there's a lat long and a heading, as well as altitude, pitch roll, etc. All can be found in the base values here. And this will point to true north based on the heading here. I will note that it does look like TARPS actually records a magnetic heading and not a true heading. The way this app works is it really needs a true heading. There's no magnetic deviation input. So for this area map, it's roughly 5 degrees magnetic deviation. So we can just bump up 5 degrees here to correct that. Now, if you note real quick, if I really go changing this around like to 207 degrees, you'll see the north up arrow has flipped. But we'll go ahead and set that back. And you want to do this for every image that you load. So as you scroll through, we'll change that true heading based on the file name, even if you go back to a previous picture. Persistence is something I'm working on still, but for now, just remember, if you are marking targets on a given image, update your true heading here, and you'll get better accuracy. 5 degrees deviation really doesn't throw you off too much, but if you want true precision, make sure you update that. So go ahead and we'll find some targets. You can scroll in with your middle mouse wheel, scroll out, pan around with the long click. And if you're ready to pick a target, you can just click on the art area. You'll get a target symbol. Current target will be displayed here. You can change your units that you like to display. DMS is a pretty good one. DDM is what I believe the DTC cartridge uses. But they're really up to you what you want to see. MJRS is always displayed. If you want to save that target, you just hit save, and it'll be transferred over here. You can see the target is going purple, and target name is left there, so T1. And you can do that as many times as you want. Save the target, and your targets that you save will be recorded over here. If you do change the format of lat long, it'll update over here as well. You can delete targets individually, or clear out targets. We'll get to the export in a little bit. Semi-handy feature, but pretty straightforward. All right, so no real targets found here, so we'll clear the targets for now, and we will see if we have an image that actually presents some targets. This is taking over Gaziantep city, so a little bit tricky to find targets, but at this altitude they do usually stand out pretty well. Nothing there. Yep, here we go. Looks like some targets. Okay, yep, we got 2 tanks maybe and a truck. Let's see what the next image has. Oh, there they are down here again. Yep, okay, so it's looks like we've completely overflown the area. Pretty sure that's the targets we were looking for. I like this image, they're more centralized. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to actually capture coordinates. One thing to note, the TARPS does put 4 images together. They don't always overlap correctly. I don't know if that has to do with the airspeed, but when you're picking targets, try and keep in the quadrant, or in this case, the lower right square. And I'll show you why here in a second, because you want to make sure you calibrate the targets. If I were to just pick these targets here, so a little more accurate there. Tank 1, 2, and the truck. Okay, you can see the coordinates set that thinks it's at. Now that's based off the assumption that dead center is, this lat long, which if you look at the file name, the TARPS file names aren't giving very decimal degrees of accuracy. So it's degrees, minutes, seconds, but no decimals. So what I added here is a feature to calibrate the image so that you can actually get a much more accurate reading of these targets. So to do that is pretty straightforward. Right back. All right, so if you come to the F10 map, you find the area you're looking at, and we will pick a couple coordinates to conduct a calibration. I like to use intersections. Trees are another good one, something smaller, but anyway, we'll go for this intersection here, which we saw in the photo. So we got it right in the middle. We'll do left Alt, hold that down, and left click. You'll get pop-up coordinates here, which you can copy to your clipboard. So I will go ahead and take the MGRS grid coordinates, which are a little bit easier to import into the tool. So if we go back to the tool, we can go ahead and add a calibration point. So calibration point 1, we use 2 calibration points. You don't have to calibrate at all, but you also don't need to do 2 points. You can just do 1. 2 points does make it more accurate. It'll give a correction to the center here. So we'll go ahead and select point 1. We're going to input it as MGRS. I'm going to click on that intersection, and you can paste Control V. The MGRS coordinates set were captured from DCS. Now it did put in that header there, MGS coordinates. So you just delete that and start with the 37 Sierra in this case, and then click to calibrate. Now that will cause a C1, a calibration point, to drop in blue. As you can see, we were a good bit off. All the targets have shifted a good bit to the southwest. So good thing we did a calibration here. So probably a good idea to add another intersection. So I'm going to grab probably, let's see if we can find this tree here. That tree there, I believe, is, swap back and forth real quick. So that's, I believe it's this tree right here. I'm going to grab that. So right in the middle of that tree. This updated. Grab those coordinates. Back to the tool. And I believe I grabbed this tree actually right here, but we can use that as a calibration point. Make sure you select calibration point 2. It doesn't automatically switch. Go ahead and drop the Q there. And put, let me just make sure I got the right coordinates. I believe I can input that here. And calibrate the click. All right, our targets went way off screen. Okay, so yeah, it shifted targets way off the map. So we really weren't all that close with the coordinates that were given. So yeah, these targets are no longer valid, no longer any help to us. So go ahead and clear all those targets. But when we go back and add them again, 1, 2, 3, you'll see that we have new coordinates and should be a lot more accurate. You can take these and you can input them in any JDAMs or waypoint, direct you right to that target. It is designed to be hopefully precision enough to drop G38s on targets, assuming they don't move once you fly your next mission in. If anybody out there would like to make a video, a better video of how to conduct this, you're welcome to it. Anybody has suggestions, please drop them. But just made this for fun and figured it was something that could put these TARPS images to somewhat better use. Certainly don't need it. You could jump back to the F10 map and roughly find any of those coordinates just by guessing and be pretty accurate, I would think. But thought the TARPS pod feature was pretty cool. So thanks for adding that, Heapler. And